Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Manisha Misra, and today, after so long, I am being able to shoot a video. Due to number of problems, I wasn't able to shoot a video, which we are not going to discuss right now. Basically, we are going to talk about books, and this is going to be a book haul video. Book haul in the sense, there are several books that I have bought from last 2 to 3 months, and some of the books that I have got, there are few which I have got from my relatives and friends on my birthday as a gift, and all those books I'm going to talk about today. So the first book that I'm going to talk about, this is the stack of books that I have got as gift, and some of them I have bought also. And the first book that I'm going to talk about is The Tenant of Wildfield Hall by Anne Bronte, and I'll read out the synopsis part, or the back, what is written in the back. I will read this out, and then you will get a brief idea about what this book is going to be about. So it will help you to choose whether you will be interested to read about these things or not. So I will try to read the first line of each book that gives a great idea about the book. The first line, so the first thing I'm going to read out in this book is The Tenant of Wildfield Hall is a powerful and sometimes violent novel of expectation, love, oppression, sin, religion, and betrayal. It portrays the disintegration of the marriage of Helen Huntingdon. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. The mysterious tenant of the title and her dissolute alcoholic husband. Defying convention, Helen leaves her husband to protect their young son from his father's influence and earns her own living as an artist. Whilst in hiding at Wildfield Hall, she encounters Gilbert Markham, who falls in love with her. On its first publication in 1848, Anne Bronte's second novel was criticized of being coarse and brutal. The Tenant of Wildfield Hall challenges the social conventions of the early 19th century in a strong defense of women's rights in the face of psychological abuse from their husbands. This is going to be really interesting, and I'm definitely going to read it very soon. Anne Bronte's style is bold, naturalistic, and passionate, and this novel, which her sister Charlotte considered an entire mistake, has earned Anne a position in English literature in her own right, not just as the youngest member of the Bronte family. This newly reset text is taken from a copy of the 1848 second edition in the library of Bronte Parsonage Museum and has been edited to correct known errors in that edition. So this is all that is written about this particular book. So this is very interesting to know that Charlotte Bronte was not quite impressed by Anne Bronte's this work particularly, and has considered this particular work as an entire mistake, and then Anne Bronte got the publicity and everything from this book only. So I'm glad that I got this book. I'm very, very thankful. I will read out the first line of this book. Chapter 1, A Discovery. You must go back with me to the autumn of 1827. That's it. So the next book that I'm going to talk about is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. This is also a gift by my uncle, who gifted me this book on my birthday, and I have already read this book, so I will be talking about this book later on. And I have a lot to talk about this book. Even if I talk about this book in this particular video, I'll be talking a little less. I will make a separate video where I will be reviewing this whole book, and I'll give my own perception and ideas, what I have learned from this book. There are many things that I have learned from this book. There are a lot of things that I have learned, and each page has something or the other to tell us, particularly not only me, tell us, to teach us, to preach us, and there are so many things. I have annotated a lot of it. I think every page is annotated, nothing is actually left. Every single page is annotated, highlighted, and written. There are so many things that I have to talk about this book, but I'll keep it aside. And the next giant book, this classic, I just love this book because it's so huge, and it's amazing. Look at the cover, it's really amazing. It is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, of course, Penguin Classics. And I want to tell you, the letters are not that, the font size is not that good. So that's an honest review, because the font size isn't that good for me, and we have to, so even the font size is so same, like so small, still it has so many pages. It has around 800 and something, 837 pages in total. So yes, so I will read out this part of this book also. Everything is finished, I have nothing but you, remember that. Anna Karenina seems to have everything: beauty, wealth, popularity, and an adored son. But she feels that her life is empty until the moment she encounters the impetuous officer Count Vronsky, if I'm not wrong. Their subsequent affair scandalizes society and family alike, and soon brings jealousy and bitterness in. With this tale of love and self-destruction is the vividly observed story of Levin, a man striving to find contentment and a meaning to his life, and also a self-portrait of Tolstoy family. This new translation has been acclaimed as the definitive English version of Tolstoy's masterpiece. The volume contains an introduction by Richard Pevier, if I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, and a preface all about this book, and it's quite interesting also. I think both of them are interesting. Both these books are actually, like, so far as I know, these are actually interesting. I have to read more about it. I'm actually dying to read more about it, because these are quite interesting. And I will read out the first part 1, first chapter, part 1. All happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. That's true. That's really true. All happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. That's true. So this is the second book. This is the third book. So the second book I haven't talked about. I'll be talking about it later. So the next book is Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott, and here written something. It's look at the cover. It's really amazing. It is vintage edition, vintage classics edition, and it's really amazing. This looks really nice. So what's written here is, rich or poor, we will keep together and be happy in one another. This means a lot to me. Rich or poor, we will keep together and be happy in one another. That's important. This is just 2 lines, and it has a lot of meaning and depth in it. Christmas won't be the same this year for Meg, Joe, Beth, and Emmy, as their father is away fighting in the Civil War, and the family has fallen on hard times. Okay. But though they may be poor, life for the 4 March sisters is rich with color, as they play games, put on wild theatricals, make new friends, argue, grapple with their vices, learn from their mistakes, nurse each other through sickness and disappointments, and get into all sort of troubles. That's interesting. This is also, everything is sounding so interesting. I don't know why. Everything sounds very interesting here. So the first line of, there's a preface. I don't know if I will read the preface or the chapter 1. I'll read both. So I'll read the preface part. Go then, my little book, and so to all that entertain and bid thee welcome, soul. Oh, that's interesting. The first line is, Christmas won't be Christmas without any presents, grumbled Joe lying on the rug. That's interesting. And one thing I would like to say you is also here in the screen somewhere, the letters are really big. The font size is really amazing. It's so big that it's easy to read, and this is such a fluffy book, and it's really nice. So I'm waiting to read this book also. So the next book that I'm going to, okay, this book also my uncle gifted me on my birthday, and I have read this book also. This book I have already read. I have annotated some of the parts. I will read it out. I will make a proper book review of this book, because this book is really amazing. I will make a proper book review about this book, and I will talk about everything that I actually touched me a lot, and everything that made an impact on me, everything that gave me a meaning to my life, and that's very interesting. I'll be talking about it later. So these two books I got as my gift, and I have already read these two books. I'll be talking about it. Then the next book is Tell Me a Story. Tell Me a Story, Inspiring, Touching, Funny and Heartfelt Stories from Life by Ravinder Singh. It is edited by Ravinder Singh, and I will read out the description. There is always a story that changed your life, and that is the time when life happened for you. Tell Me a Story is a collection of heartwarming stories about events and incidents that have affected or changed the lives of the writers in ways that they cannot forget. Happy or sad, inspiring or shocking, these are the stories of moments that have left an indelible mark on their lives, stories that they would love to share. So this is going to be interesting, I think. So I can't read the first line of this book because it has a number of short stories in it, and reading anything from that isn't going to be interesting. So I'll read the contents. What are the stories it has? The End of the Tunnel by Krishnashis Jana, The Smile That Said It All, Kamalika Ray, The Defender, Aparajita Datta, A Daughter's First Flight, Vijay Kumar, and then The Planes Came, Sanghamitra Bose, Breaking the Impasse, Sally Bhargava. I'm sorry if I'm not taking the names correctly. So there are so many others. I hope this is going to be interesting, because this will be interesting because I haven't read such books more. I haven't read any of the books by Ravinder Singh till date. I too had a love story I had read when I was in 10th class. So let's see what it comes out to be. So the next book is something that I have bought on my own, that is Odyssey by Homer. And look at this classic edition. I like Maples. I really like Maples Classic, and it is quite affordable. It is quite cheap and affordable for the people who are like, I'm a student myself. I'm not earning a lot of money so that I can afford every Penguin Classics and every other classics or editions that are costly. But Maple Classics is really good quality. It gives good quality of font size, good quality of paper. It's floppy and paperback. I like paperback more than hardcovers. That's true. I like paperback. So here it is written, Heaven has appointed us dwellers on earth a time for all things. A fundamental piece of work in the modern Western canon, the Odyssey by Homer is considered one of the greatest epics of all times. The book revolves around the Greek hero Odysseus, king of Ithaca, and his 10-year journey to home after the fall of the city of Troy. Odysseus encounters divine and natural forces during his journey, while his wife and son fend off suitors jostling for Ithaca's throne. Nearly 3,000 years after it was composed, the Odyssey remains one of the most celebrated and widely read stories ever told, and that is why I want to read this book, and that is why I want to give a try to this book. So I hope I will be able to read the first line. So there are book 1, book 2, there are so many books inside it. There are book 24 books are there. The first book I'll read, book Sing to Me of the Men, Muse, the men of twists and turns, driven time and again, of course. Once he had plundered the hallowed heights of Troy. This is going to be a difficult read. I'm pretty sure about it. This is going to be a tough read. So yes, that's what I like about classics, because I'm a learner, I'm a student still, and I love to read classics because it makes me learn a lot of things. The language, the kind of narration used in classics are completely different from other books. It's not that I'm not praising all other books are different in there, and it also holds a different value, and I'm not saying that those are not valuable. But classics is something else for me, because I love to read classics. It makes me learn a lot of things, the language, the narration, the words which are used. I came across this one thing that while reading classic books, I'm learning so many new words, which is very interesting, because I'm someone who will pen down every word which I don't know. I don't feel ashamed about not knowing words which are used in day-to-day life also. Sometimes I forget, so I pen down everything and I write down. I don't feel ashamed about it. So this is something I actually love about reading classics. This is the next book, is the Iliad by Homer. Again, Odyssey and Iliad. If I have bought Odyssey, why not I'll buy the Iliad. So this is also in Mapple's Classics. And what's written in here, line I have already read. While I was going to buy this particular book, I read the description where it was written, "For of all creatures that breathe and move on earth, none is more to be pitied than a man." This stayed with me a lot. Like this has another level of interpretations to it, and I have taken it so deeply in me that for a while I felt like human beings are the most pitied creatures in this world, and why is this life? And I thought and more about existence of life and everything. An ancient Greek poem, Homer's The Iliad, is one of the greatest epics of Western literature, we all know. The story depicts the critical events during the last few weeks of the final year of the Trojan War, as Homer provides glimpses of the past events that led to the catastrophic war and insights into the future through the prophecies of Achilles, if I am correct, Achilles' looming death and the fall of Troy, interwoven with the moving descriptions of the ebb and flow of the battle. The Iliad presents an appalling view of the world and human life living under the umbrage of death and suffering. So this is going to be interesting, I think. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. So these are all the books. This is all about the books that I have got as gift, and some of them I have bought, which I have told you. And now we will talk about those two books which I have already read. And the first one I'll be talking about is World's Greatest Letters. This is a collectible edition, and many of these letters are so inspiring. These are so touching, and these are really going to have a great impact on your life. I have went on reading this book repetitively because I find some of the letters are like so very personal. At the same time, it can be applicable to all other situations of life, to everyone also. There are so many letters which makes me feel that if at all someone would have written this letter to me. And one more thing that makes that I realized is letter writing is something that is vanishing day by day, as book reading is also vanishing day by day. People are not recognizing the importance of writing letters. I haven't myself written a single letter. I have written very few letters to my grandfather or someone. I don't even remember when I was a kid, and now no one does that. But coming to the topic, this book is going to be one of the best read of your life, including this book, A Man's Search for Meaning. Both books are going to be the best books that you have read in your life, I can assure you that. Here something is written, I'll read this out to you. Sir, more than kisses, letters mingle souls, for thus friends absent speak. So this is told by John Donne, and there are so many letters from there. Virginia Woolf has written one letter to Leonard Woolf. I feel certain that I'm going mad again, and I shan't recover this time. So this is very like this letter was very painful for me. I have read this letter once, twice, third time I felt like I should not read this anymore, because this letter was very emotional. It was very gripping. At the same time, it was very vulnerable, natural. Everything that she felt, she wrote it. There is no correction, there is no modification, there is no way of writing a letter. Everything that her mind or her heart or whatever that pain and suffering inked, and she just written that particular thing in the letter. And that's very interesting. I'll be talking about this very briefly right now, but then I'll be talking with all the descriptions in the book review of this book on the next video. The element uranium may be turned into a new and important source of energy in the immediate future. This was written by Albert Einstein to Franklin Roosevelt. You are today the one person in the world who can prevent a war. This was written by M.K. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, to Adolf Hitler. Again, after reading this, I came to know that this letter was only written addressed to Adolf Hitler, but it was not sent because of the colonialism which was going on, and the British people didn't allow this letter to reach Adolf Hitler. Thing is, homosexuality is nothing to be ashamed of was written by Sigmund Freud to a mother, and this letter stayed with me. This letter taught me a lot of things, and you must read this book. I'm telling you, there are several reasons that a person must read this book. Try to do to others as you would have them do to you, and do not be discouraged if they fail sometimes. This is written by Charles Dickens to Edward Dickens, his son Edward Dickens, and this was also interesting. There are so many letters where the father is addressing his daughter who is going to face a new world, and there are other letters which a father is writing to his son who is going to start a new world, and what are the things that we should do, what the world is actually like. Of course, they are more experienced than us, and they will provide us with more valuable advices, so that's important at some other point of time. And that's it for this book right now. So the next book that I have got as a gift is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl, the classic tribute to hope from the Holocaust. This book needs to be talked about. This book needs to be read by every single person. As it is written here by Los Angeles Times, has actually written that if you read but one book this year, Dr. Frankl's book should be that one. So this book, if you're planning to read single book in this year, then this should be that book. This is such a powerful book. This will actually make you feel like, I can't even express how valuable this book is to me, and how important this book is to me, how precious this book is to me, because I have learned a lot from this single book. And I remember I was talking to my ma about this book, what are the things that he has written, what are the things. I was talking over phone to my friends also. I was telling them so this and these things happened in the World War, and he was, so this person who is narrating the story is actually a survivor of the World War, the concentration camp, and all the sufferings, the brutality, inhumanity, everything he has suffered, and at some point he realized that he is not a normal human being anymore. And this is written in a simplistic manner, in the most simplest possible way, but at the same time it is so vulnerable, it is so natural, and it is so impactful, it is so powerful that I can't even say you. This book itself is a journey, and it is an experience to read this book. This is a so I'll read it out. One of the outstanding classics to emerge from the Holocaust, Man's Search for Meaning, is Viktor Frankl's story of his struggle for survival in Auschwitz, if I'm not correct, please correct me, and other Nazi concentration camps. Today, this remarkable tribute to hope offers us an avenue to finding greater meaning and purpose in our lives. Viktor Frankl is one of the mortal heroes of the 20th century. His insights into human freedom, dignity, and the search for meaning are deeply humanizing and have the power to transform lives. This was told by Chief Rabbi Dr. Jonathan Sacks, and an enduring work of survival literature. This was told by New York Times. So everyone has praised this book because, guys, 12 million copies have been sold, and this book is worth reading. Every single person who is willing to read a single book should read this book. That's all I would like to say. This has actually equal balance of trying to portray the brutality and inhumanity all over, and then again trying to portray the hope and faith that we have to keep on whatever is destined, a hope that everything will be fine, a reason to continue our life in the hardest of times and sufferings. This book actually made me feel that my sufferings and my problems are so little in front of all these things. After reading this, I felt that I'm just a tiny bit of thing who is having a little bit of problems. These are just problems, these are not sufferings and pain and everything. So much for watching this video. I hope you will like this video, and if you like this video, comment on the comment section, and also share it with your reader friends, and those who are not reader also share with them, so that they will also get interested to read more books. All the videos of mine till now are to make people understand that art and literature are really the most important part of humans' life. We must not take it easily. We must pay more attention to all those things, and we must read more and more books in order to learn something, in order to get knowledge, in order to calm our mind, in order to escape from the brutal world or cruel world, in order to escape from the chaos that we are facing right now. And that is really helpful. Reading a book is really helpful. So thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.